Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sarasota Tim. Welcome to Fireside Chat. Let's have us a cold one. I was watching that one of them vacation movies one night with Chevy Chase and Cousin Eddie, and I think it was Vegas Vacation. And Chevy Chase is over there, and Cousin Eddie's got him a couple of cold ones on a six-pack strap hanging on his fingers, and he's having one. And he says to Chevy Chase, I forgot his name in the movie, he says, "I bet you could use a cold one." And Chevy Chase says, "Yeah, sure, I'll have one." And he goes like this. He hands him the one he was drinking, pops himself a new one. Anyway, he had to be there. It was funny. Here's a near beer. Just got back from Carrabba's having dinner. Place was absolutely packed. I've never seen it so packed, but there was a 20-minute wait, but it wasn't too bad. Sorry, I'm a little thirsty. Well, let me tell you about, I won't harp on it too long, but man, gotta get it off my chest. Driving up to Ocala today, where are these people coming from? Who are these people? Why are they here? And why are they stopped on I-75? I literally was stopped a dozen times. It was just unbelievable traffic all the way up 150 miles to Ocala, something like that. 2.5 hours is the normal drive time. 2 hours, 20 minutes. 2.25 hours, whatever, to the Ocala Horse Park, where they host the, the RV show each year. It's always pretty good. It's actually the perfect size. It's not small. You wouldn't know it, that it's not. You wouldn't know that it's much smaller than the Tampa. I mean, you do, but you don't. I mean, it's big. There's a lot of RVs there, plenty of RVs there. I just scratched the surface when I was there today, but a lot of cool ones. They really had to set that thing up and how they put them in there so close. Unfortunately, it's a grass field, so quite a bit of grass goes inside of them. Where in Tampa, part of the RVs where they were parked, it's at the fairgrounds. They actually put this carpet down on the ground so that when you walk in, you don't track in grass and stuff. I'm looking at the camera way over there. I don't have my big tripod, and it looks like I might be going in and out of focus. I think it's trying to focus on the fire. So I just don't know. I could bring it over here. Don't fall off the edge there, Baker. Well, you can see a little bit of the fire, and you can see me now. I'm a little closer. I don't think it'll be trying to focus on the fire. So anyway, a pretty good RV show. I'm a little disappointed because I was talking to JJ, and he told me that there actually were flagstaffs there, the micro lights, and I didn't see them. I didn't walk around the whole thing though, but I saw the rockwoods that I made the videos of, and trying to get this headrest right. Well, you got my opinion. You heard what I said. Now, if I'd have found the Flagstaff micro light, not the super light by Rockwood, they may have had different color cabinets and things. I don't know. So I don't know. I don't even know if they still make the 25 FKBS. I mean, you're going to have a 25 and a 26? So, not sure. And the funny thing is, the 25 that I have is 25 foot 11 inches on the outside. So it kind of makes sense why they call it that. The the one I went in today, the Rockwood, was close to 30 feet. It was 29 feet, 8 inches, and they call it a 2608 or something like that. I don't know. But everybody keeps talking about the one with the king-size bed that I thought was really cool. It had all that room in there. You could just keep walking. I actually forgot about that one. I went into so many of them, I forgot about it. But yeah, it was really cool. That would come close to being a player. But overall, could not be happier. I mean, I'm so glad that when I went back to the place where I bought mine, that this particular floor plan was there. It was sold, and I had to wait about 4 or 5 days for another one to be delivered there, this one. But it was there and not picked up yet, so I was able to see it. I mean, just think how fortuitous that is. So anyway, it is what it is. I was kind of reminiscing about, forget the RVs, you saw the video, about old times again today. Some more things came to my mind, and I was thinking about decor. That was a key word I was going to try to remember. I was telling myself, remember decor. Do you remember, here it is, here's some of it. You remember the old cars, right? And when I was in the car business back in the day, do you remember the vinyl tops they put on cars? Do you remember the Cadillac Cimarron? Remember two-tone paint jobs? Do you remember that crushed velvet interior like in those Cadillacs? It was a living room sofa. I mean, pillow top. They were beautiful, and the cars were big. But they no longer, for many, many years, put on vinyl tops. Now, what they do like to put on, when I was selling Buicks at the end of my career in the car business, that was a long time ago, gosh, because I did what I did for over 30 years. We used to put on the Palm Beach package. Over in Delray Beach, we would add these cabriolet roofs. They were vinyl tops, but they were that Sunbrella canvas over a fiberglass shell that sat on the roof, and it had the ribs in it like it was a convertible. Yeah, didn't do anything, it was just looks. But that was the end of anything that was put on the roof of cars. They're all hardtops now. Well, remember two-tone paint? Yeah. And I remember even having some two-toned when we reconditioned them for resale. But yeah, the factory was spitting them out. There were no mag wheels to speak of on sedans and coupes. There were wire wheel covers or just nice hubcaps. Everything was a steel rim with a cap on it. In fact, there was a place called Hubcap Galore or Hubcap Headquarters or something like that, where you can go in and get them, or you could find a replacement if one popped off yours. You remember how people used to put them on the side of the road next to a tree or a sign? Like if you lost your hubcap, you would retrace your steps hoping to find it, because it wasn't going to be any good to anybody, just one hubcap. So people would find them and lean them up against something. Another thing I was thinking of when it comes to decor. It was the car interior. Oh, how a lot of the cars, like these campers they made in the day, were junks. Who remembers the Chevy Citation? Every one of them broke. There's none on the road. Chevy Vega. What about the Gremlin? That wasn't so bad as the Pacer. Remember those? God, the Pacer was kind of odd looking, but the Gremlin, they had a kind of a Boss motor, I think, in some of those. The Gremlin, I remember they were AMC Gremlin. No, the Pacer. I'm thinking of the Pacer, that big, strange looking thing. Wow, these old cars. But the way they used to put the interiors in them, like those Cadillacs with that crushed velvet. You know, they didn't even have armrests. They were a sofa all the way across. So comfortable. And the power steering, you just spin it with your finger. Today it's speed sensitive electronic steering. I don't think there's any power steering pump with fluid that's variable ratio. This was back in the day. Now today it's electronic. Don't want to lose some of you out there, but that's the kind of power steering we generally have in the modern cars today. You remember the old power steering when it would go out and you would hear it whining when you turn your wheel and you got to put some power steering fluid in? Hey, I'm going to roll. What about going to the filling station? Now, before I get into how they used to check your oil for you, because all cars always needed a quart or a half a quart, they'd say, all right, I'm only half a quart, I'm good. And they would take that spout and push it down in that can, and they'd be sitting out there on the island next to the pumps where, you know, they were like paper, big fat oil cans. And they'd shove that thing down in there. Now, if you're young listening to this video, you don't know anything I'm talking about. But they check your oil under the hood, fill up your windshield washer fluid, check your antifreeze, or a lot of times we just ran straight water. It's a racetrack out here, folks, every weekend. But I was going to say something else about the gas stations. When full service ended and they didn't come out to your car anymore, and self-service started, you pumped your own gas, but you never went in to pay first. They didn't have any kind of a credit card machine on them. You could just pump it and go in. And I think you'd even tell them how much it was, or maybe they could see. And then later on became where you had to go in and pay first. They still didn't have the credit card at the pump. You pay first because people were driving off and not paying. And then of course they put the credit cards on the pumps. But who remembers that? You could just pump your own gas and go in and pay afterwards. Or if you wanted advance pay, you could go in and do that. But the pump was ready to go. Boy, the old times. I'm trying to think of some different things. I remember, now this is kind of odd sounding, but I actually remember how they started switching the red lights from the incandescent bulb to the LEDs that we all have now. They're all LED. I don't know if any of you remember that, but the difference in an incandescent bulb and an LED is they come on instantly and go out instantly. And the incandescent red lights, they used to kind of briefly, very briefly, you know, slowly dim out and then come on, and they weren't near as bright. But the old days, who remembers the lowest rent you ever paid? I'm going back to when I got my own place. Rents were in the neighborhood of $350 to $450 a month. Far cry from today, right? Well, I'm drawing a little bit of a blank because I'm trying to think of old-timey stuff. I didn't make any notes. It kind of just came to me. I was just going to tell you guys about the RV show today. I think regarding those RVs, those big giant ones, a lot of wasted space and a lot of bad thinking and design where, like that, I'm a big stickler on the bed. The bed doesn't have any room in the foot of it to put your pants on or get dressed or to walk around it. There was another one that had that loft and that it was a 3-bedroom. I showed you when you got to go in and close the door. If those stairs aren't out, it was a back door, a rear back door. Then it was a bear to get in there. So you could find a lot of cons, you know, about some of those RVs, especially if you bought one, where somebody asked me to list the cons on mine, and I'll tell you, I can't think of any. I can't think of any. There's so much. They hit it on the head with this one. From the looks, the color, the tires, the axles. It's got Dexter axles, you know. Goodyear Endurance tires. Nothing but the best. What about that one? Now, here's a con. I got one. It's a big one. I just saw it. And today when I was there, I saw those jacks that come down on that. I guess it was on that camper with the king bed or something. It had the beefiest, you know that thing was solid when it was, those jacks come down. These, they're not the scissor jack. They are electric, they're switches, but they hit the ground and they literally stop. They have no power to lift the trailer an inch or two. I know they're not meant to level the trailer. They're meant to give it a solid floor where you're not walking around like on a trampoline in there. But they, in fact, I'm going to probably buy myself some kind of bottle jacks or scissor jacks or something. It's just they've got to come a long way down from the bottom of this thing. Some of those campers, did you see how many steps you got to go up? They're way off the ground, the floor inside. This one is too. I don't have to worry about getting water in. It's not going to flood. Unlike a home, right, where the water can come right in your front door, it's right down to the ground. Not these, they're up high, really high. Speaking of high, I've got to get up on my roof tomorrow and inspect it. It's about time for that. I have some hamburger in there, and I've got some rewards money. Maybe I'll go over to BJ's tomorrow, the next day, and get some filet mignon or some kind of steaks to put on the grill. I got to clean that grill that caused that big fire. I had that with that Suburban waist high grill, the big one. Some kind of grease that gets hard or whatever, it burns like you can't put it out. You have to clean it out. You have to scrape it off. It's easy to do. I just need to take the grate off and clean out of there and turn it upside down. I'll get it right, because we had a big fire there the other day, but that steak come out okay. And then tomorrow morning, bacon and eggs on the griddle. It's not going to be cold. Guess what? Tomorrow it's going to be late getting up. No more getting up early. That's because 4 is going to be really 5, and 5 is going to be really 6. We spring forward tonight. We put our clocks ahead. So right now it is currently 8:15. So this is 9:15. I'm going to have to get this video uploaded, if it will. Hope I'm recording not on slow motion. But yeah, it'll be staying daylight a lot longer. It'll take a little longer for the sun to come up, but it'll be daylight till 8 o'clock tomorrow night, almost 8 o'clock. And then as we work our way into the summer, I mean, it's really strange, isn't it? When it gets dark at 5, when we go back to the standard time, whatever, I think we're going to start daylight saving, right? Whatever it is. They need to quit confusing everybody and leave it. And the way they should leave it is the way it's going to be tomorrow. I like when it doesn't get dark early. It's just kind of weird. So, yeah, that's happening tonight. So Fireside Chat will be later. It doesn't always have to be dark, but it sure, makes it nice. Too bad you can't see all the fire in the video. It's very nice. I have it on low. There's no wind tonight. It's a beautiful evening. It's a Saturday night. They don't get any better than this. Break out the old Milwaukee. Folks, I went to Clearwater, traffic. That was half the distance, if that, as Ocala was. I have no interest of going anywhere until season is over or after Easter, when a lot of these northerners will bail and go back north. It's right after Easter is when they leave. So, I mean, there's just so many people here. I can't believe it. I don't know where they're all going. Out there on the freeway, and the traffic was stopped. If the reason was because there was a car pulled over the side of the road that was stranded, but it wasn't a big car wreck or anything, it was just sitting there, and people have to stop and slow down and take a look at it, ridiculous. And then, you know, when it clears, everybody gasses it, and then you come up on brake lights again. It's very dangerous. They're like, all right, it's clear now, and they start running 80 miles an hour up to the next big traffic jam. But it really got to be annoying. Same way coming home. Wasn't as bad, but there was a few times where the traffic was just, whew. But I'm glad I went. I really am, and can't believe the prices. I don't know if they were selling any up there. Now, when you go buy an RV, remember this. If it's not a show and you go to the dealer, say whatever the price is, say now I get 15, 20 grand off that, right? Because that's what you're always doing at the show. It always shows these huge $15,000, $20,000 less. So, you know, when I bought this one, it was only a few thousand less because, you know, Camp Oaks didn't play that game. But you go to these shows and they say, oh, the price was $60,000 original, $42,000 today. What? $17,000, $18,000, $13,000 off on the price. Then again, they do got to put a pretty good deal on there because people are walking around, and if they don't show some kind of a price, you know, they're not going to sell any, and they do want to sell them. So, ooh, a little cold air just came up. Well, that's about it, folks, for the night. I drove a lot today, and I just ate. Now I'm going to watch some Grit TV and relax for the night. Tomorrow I'm going to get up and crush it at the gym, get some steps in. This morning I actually thought, I'll go run. After I made that morning video, I was all about hitting the gym and stuff, and then I thought, you know what? I told everybody I was going to that show, and Friday was perfect. You know, it was kind of rainy up there and cloudy, by the way. Yeah. I mean, I left here, it was beautiful. Blue skies, sunny, gonna be a great day. So I asked Siri and Google what the weather was gonna be, and they said, yeah, it could rain till after 2. And it sprinkled. It wasn't a big deluge or anything, but it was cloudy all day, which was not bad up there for that, because you know why? Unlike Tampa RV show, where they have every single RV on full power, up there, none of them. None of them had any power to turn the lights on. As you saw, they were kind of dark in there. There was no AC. Fortunately, you didn't need it. I heard some and saw some power cords going to some of them, but none that I went in and saw had power. Man, they got a lot of them for sale, and they're just making them and spitting them out, so people must be buying these things. Otherwise, what do they do with them? I just don't get it. And these RV places are everywhere. They're bigger than car dealers. They got them. They got so many of them stacked. Oh, by the way, thank you. It's General RV where Matt works, right? The guy that's on YouTube. And it's just down the street from that place. I was going to say hi to him, but I didn't. I didn't want to bother him. I saw a few other people around the area going, hey, there's that guy, Matt, you know. YouTube. He does a lot of RV reviews. But he looked really good. The guy was very heavy. Maybe he's doing the shot. I don't know. But he looked really good. And it's general RV. When I went by there after I left, you're talking about a huge place. Ocala, first of all, is all country. I read a couple of comments. You said, I never heard of Ocala, never been there. Ocala is the horse capital of Florida, I think. John Travolta has a place there. A lot of people have their own airplanes. They have a place where people live where they have a landing strip, and everybody's a pilot. And they can take like these small planes right to their house. They have a hangar. That's their garage. And they taxi out and fly off. And of course, John Travolta, he had a big jet. He's a pilot. But he's a famous person up there. And it's hilly. It doesn't look like Florida. Very woodsy and country, and all these ranch-style fences with the horses and everything. Just acres of green grass for them to chew on and stuff. Yeah, horse country. That's where the RV park was. RV show was. The horse park. Ocala Horse Park. All right, that's about it. I'm running out of material. I got to get some new material till tomorrow morning. Hope you guys have a great night. I'll get this one up for you. Make sure you turn your clocks back or turn them forward. Crush it.